jump from the global stage to the local stage, because one of the things that we've seen is that, I mean, there's tremendous opportunities in the global IT ecosystem, so that's for sure, but we also want to share with you like how some local people made it, and we've found a very controversial topic. So we have the success and the failure side of local entrepreneurs represented. So please let me welcome the panelists on stage. So just all panelists come on stage and I'll introduce you while you're coming on stage. Yeah, let's go. I'll give a quick introduction. So we have basically what we managed to convince. We managed to convince 3 local entrepreneurs who had like very strong striving startups, and 2 entrepreneurs who managed to raise funding, but eventually had to fold their product businesses. And we want to learn a little bit on the lessons from both sides, because I think it's like extremely important is that like what HP said earlier. It's like entrepreneurship is like succeeding against all the odds, but at the end we've seen that it's really possible, and that's like what we want to like quiz those guys on. So I'll have a couple of questions for them, but we're also happy to take questions from the audience if you have some really good things to grill them. So. I would say we'll just do like a quick 1-sentence intro per person since we're short on time. So, do you just want to say like which side you're representing and who you are?
Hello. Hi there, I'm Dragos. So I was a developer for 5 years. 2.5 years ago, I bit the bullet, decided that life's too good and became an entrepreneur. And last December, I had to close the company. So in the context of this discussion, I will be representing the failure side.
Hi, I'm Simon. So I built your peso. Basically, I think I can tell you about both sides, success and failure. Basically, in the beginning it was like very difficult, or let's say about 8 years. And then for a few years, now it's okay.
And come on, he has a company with 200 people. Come on. Okay,
so we're good.
Testing 1, 2. Hello, my name is Muresan. I've never been employed in my life, so I don't know the failure side of the story. I dropped out of college 12 years ago to found a game development studio, and currently we're one of the best high-strength game development studios in the world, with offices in Cluj and Romania, and we cater to some 200,000 gamers every year. That's about the number of units we sell each year on PC platforms. So basically that's what I've been doing my entire life, running one company, never failed, never had.
Hi everybody, I'm Tudor, and I'm the founder and creator of KingScheme. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a summarization technology that no longer works. So obviously I will be representing the failure side, at least at this moment. Next time hopefully it's going to be different. And before doing the startup, I did pretty much everything I could do around the software industry. So I prepared for the startup, and I'm still preparing. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Marius. Nice to meet you all. I'm general manager of Gravity Systems, and general manager and the CEO actually, and general manager of Visually Romania, a data visualization company that is coming from San Francisco. We are running here a research and development center, and basically I can talk about success, but maybe baby steps to success, but not failure, that's for sure.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll kick it off, and if anybody from the audience has a question, then please raise your hand, and we'll just take you in as well. But I'll start with a quick question to the success side, because I mean we're talking about the local ecosystem, and the question which I have is, would you have made the same thing that you've been able to succeed now from Silicon Valley, or how is Romania like instrumental to the success that you had? So we'll just start here with Simon.
Well, hard to say what I would do in Silicon Valley, because basically I've never been. I just used what I had at hand, you know. I just made it work with what was available to me.
Do you think you could have started your peso from the valley?
I think I would have started something from the valley. It would have been different, because the resources, people, and the environment is different. But yeah, I would have started something. I don't think it would have been like the peso is now, but yeah. For me, it was important to do something and not necessarily be what.
Okay, great. Robert?
After having worked in the US recently, as I have an office there, yes, indeed, the opportunities are much bigger out there, but also comes the competition, so everything's going to be proportional. So yes, you can indeed do a lot more. Start from the valley, for example, go higher, but you also have to do a lot more because you're also going to have a more fierce competition out there. So I don't really think it's actually the place. It's not where you do it, it's what you do and how you do it.
Yeah. So, but you have not feel like impeded from the ecosystem, right? So.
Actually, I'm one of the most competitive markets game development. Changing rapidly, it's a lot of competition. Actually, we go through more changes in 1 year than the rest of the industry. I don't know where it goes in 10 years.
Okay, fantastic. Do you have something to add, Marius? No.
I just wanted to mention that I'm following you. In terms of competition.
Okay, yeah, the market is very competitive. We know that all here for sure. Okay, then let's go to the other side. What are the things which you think we should have more in this ecosystem to make it easier for entrepreneurs to succeed? I mean, what were the things that you were missing in order to make you successful from an ecosystem point of view?
All right. So hope it's on. We were 7 months into development. We had launched our first product to the market, and then we discovered that we don't actually know don't know enough about business, right? So this was our stage. We had a very good technical background, a very good sales background, but we didn't know anything about business. So at that point, we started looking for advisors, for mentors, for people who can take us one step further. And that's when our, let's say, troubles began. Because it was very hard for us in this local community to find the kind of people that would help us go one step further, right? So because we are here, we are in Eastern Europe, we were somehow limited to the Eastern European culture. It was, of course, also connected to our type of business that we kind of addressed the local environment. But the fact that we could not find good advisors or did not have access to them. There weren't as many networking events, there weren't as many conferences, as many startup hackathons or startup weekends back 2 years ago. So that was our main problem, finding the people that would take us further. And if, I was thinking while they were answering, if we would have had it easier if we were in Silicon Valley, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. What I know is that we could have moved faster. I mean, failed faster or succeed faster if we were in a different environment. Okay, but you're lucky. Don't worry, because you're now 2 years ahead of us. You have a lot of people here. You can ask and get advice and get introductions, get referrals from.
We can always ask Vlad the Impalers what we learned.
Again, we didn't have Vlad the Impaler.
So I have to completely agree with Dragos. That was my problem as well. I didn't know about the business, so I was a beginner in business, although I thought I knew some. So I was involved in different things before, but not enough. And also having somebody who went through the experience before. It's very, very different when you have somebody who went through that experience and in a matter of 1 hour can give you a lot of mentoring. So I had the opportunity to go in Silicon Valley, and the first person I got mentored by was Vlad, which along with his partner gave me like one of the best mentoring sessions ever. So it was great. Another thing that I pretty much blew was the product side. So in Cluj, because I'm coming from IT, and in Cluj there's a lot of, the industry is outsourcing. There's project-based development, not developing the product, which is incredibly different. So I thought the technology meant the product, but it's not that. It's very, very different. So if I can say my takeaway from this experience is that once you go through the experience of having a startup, it's going to be very, very different what you know. There's a very big difference between a first-time founder and a second-time founder. So the sooner you do it, the better. If you're up to it, if you want to do it.
It's a fantastic point. And also up to this point, which you said that Vlad supported you a lot and gave you a lot of mentoring. I think that's also one thing which we learn a lot from thriving ecosystems, that there's need for people supporting the young entrepreneurs. So one question which I have maybe to all the audience, and maybe we'll start with Marius, is who were like your heroes when you started the company, and who are actually the people helping you in building what you build, and how did you manage to get those people? Because I think that's a very valuable advice for everybody. And then after that, we'll take a question from the audience.
So, yeah, that's fine. So basically, when I started the company, I would also want to answer the other question in a way that the local environment is actually helping us producing actually outsourcing. There are a lot of outsourcing companies that are successful, and it's pretty easy to success in this area. But in terms of product, it comes a little bit harder because it's very hard to get investment. It's very hard to get mentorship. And when I started my company as an outsourced company. Now we aren't anymore. And actually I did get a lot of mentorship from people from AOL, for example, and I can mention their like head of distribution, the CEO of AOL Israel, Hanan Laschober. Sorry, I'm always like misspelling his name. So actually mentorship is really important because there are not enough resources in Romania to offer mentorship. At least there weren't when I started the business a few years ago. So, or maybe I didn't find the right one. So I got the mentorship, all the mentorship that I got from people from Israel and US market.
Great. Anybody else has a take on that question?
Well, maybe I can bring in another perspective. I mean, basically, when I started the company, I had a lot of mentors, people telling me how I should do things, how things are done nicely. But I just wouldn't really. I insisted on making like every mistake myself, and yeah, from that what I learned, and I think I just kept failing until I actually figured out a way that would work. So I don't know, you two guys, you sound a bit frustrated because it didn't work out. I say, so what? And you say like, the guys now, you have it better now. I mean, fuck it. I mean, just do it again. I mean, use what you have right now. I mean, you can do it again. I mean, to me, success is like a long sequence of failures until you're lucky enough to get it right. I mean, either you evolve or the situation is just right and the gods are in your favor, and you just keep going. That's how I see it.
Fantastic.
I think that calls for an answer from the failure side. So I think that both me and Tudor, who also agreed to represent the failure side today, so although our businesses failed, I don't think that we personally failed. I mean, there's a big difference in you as an entrepreneur and your business, right? It's very personal and you take it very personal because it has to be personal. But at the end, we know that although our business failed, we have learned a lot. I mean, I wouldn't trade those 2 years for anything, but I really wish that I could have achieved that degree of awesomeness by not being an entrepreneur. I mean, it really hurt, right? There were a lot of ups and downs. It's really about that roller coaster, right? So when we were successful, we were on top of the world. When we were down, we were like really depressed. Yeah, everybody I think can relate here. Unfortunately, we stopped. And when we stopped, don't think that we were out of options when we stopped. I mean, we were just beginning to see the opportunities that we had. And when we decided to pull the plug out of the company, there were still things that we could have tried. But it was a question for us if like, do we still believe in what we are doing? Do we still have what it takes to grind through another year, right? So, and we decided as a team to stop, right? Okay. So, again, the project failed, but we moved on, and I think that both me and my co-founder and the other team members are a bit more successful right now in what we're doing.
Again, I agree with Dragos, and what I want to emphasize is what Mark said earlier. You need to be also very realistic about the business. This is business, it's not a hobby or something personal. You need to treat it as realistically as possible. So this is one of the lessons I learned because I was a little too optimistic, and wishful thinking doesn't help. You need to be realistic about business.
Okay. Great, so we'll take a question from Christy.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate the failure part that they are stepping out and talking about that. I think we are talking a little bit too much about successes and too less about failures, and we learn more than from failures. But my question is regarding, because in Cluj we have a development ecosystem more than an entrepreneurial one. I think we are learning how to do the entrepreneurial ecosystem. What would you advise the developers which are today here and have intentions in stepping out into the entrepreneurial journey, advise them to do?
I will say it first this time, so I won't have to really agree with you. So
It's okay if you have...
No, I also want to talk a little more, that's the trick. So, the thing is, there's a very big difference between development and doing business. In development, it's pretty easy in the sense that it works or it doesn't work. You know, there's documentation, so you can do it in several ways and you see the result. With business, there are a lot of shades of not gray, yeah. You know, different shades of, I don't know how to say it. So it's very tricky to realize, okay, are you there or you are not there yet? So this is the main difference that I saw going from a developer to the business part. And this is also with the product part, the same thing. And what I would suggest, you know, you can always take the risk and do it on your own and learn from mistakes. You know, you can get lucky, you can be also very smart and do all the proper steps and be successful. I don't know. But maybe you can find a company where you can go, and a company that is more startup or more entrepreneurial and do the experience there. So I can tell you, I know there is a company here who's represented here on front of the stage, so there are opportunities.
Yes, we hire.
We fire. As a failure. So I just want to ask also a question. I'm also coming from a technical side, and I started the business because I wanted to try entrepreneurship. Now, the problem that I see right now in terms of developers that are not actually, it's very hard for them to pass the boundary and become entrepreneurs. The reason is that they are not entrepreneurs in their in the company they are working into. And I believe there is a problem of like embracing the vision of the company and take all the strategical and understand all the strategical decisions and actually accepting the trade-offs of being only developers in that company. And if they can actually overcome these boundaries and think that they are working in a company as being their company, that can be the first step of getting outside and roll out a product or a business on their own. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions from the audience? Ah, there's one question over there. Just shout it out loud if you can, otherwise we wait for the microphone.
No, it's fine. I just want to ask you, how do you test your product?
Are you asking me?
I ask everyone, so whoever wants to answer.
Okay, Robert, you wanna?
Yeah, I'll take this one. What we've done when we started our company, it was a small market, we had limited resources, and we built a community discussion forum around our website. And now we have fans which are on our forums for like over 10 years, and they do like the most fantastic job in the world of testing our product. They're like die-hard fans, they would do anything just to get the greatest games before they hit the market. And it's actually the best beta testing I've ever seen. They obsessively check every aspect of the game, every detail, they give us good feedback, and best of all the aspects, there is a free copy of the game. So one of the key things when you're testing products is to find people that are passionate about your products. Because they will go, they won't just go to a product like a lousy job or a repetitive job. They will actually, because they love your product, they will want that product to be perfect, to be flawless, to be feature-rich, to be perfect. And that's why they're gonna give you 110%, and they're gonna go to extremes to point out any bug, any inconsistency, anything that can be there. This is actually what we do for like 12 years, and actually we released AAA titles. And we never used any professional beta testers as in hired employees or companies. The guys on the forums do a tremendous job at this. So get yourself a community of enthusiasts who love your product, and you're gonna do the best free job in the world.